Hello, my friends, and welcome. Welcome to Studio Day, Heffrey. Brett is in the comments before I even get started. First, we need new things to put in the air fryer content. You know, I'm good for that, but it drives some people crazy. I don't want to make anybody mad. Gimli, thanks for giving me something to do as I take my morning. Okay, all right. So, today, what we're going to do is I was farting around yesterday on the internet, donging around, if you will. And I don't know, I'm a sucker for lists, especially in the month of July before we get to training camp. I like to see what people are expecting football teams to do. I like to see what people are claiming people are going to be, things of that nature. And so what I got is Pro Football Focus ranking every unit of every team. And then we'll see where they're wrong. That's what we're going to do. So good morning to everyone. Let me knock out the business portion of this real quick. Bet Online, your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. Baseball, golf, soccer, UFC, MMA, boxing, they got it all. Every stat, every matchup, live odds and spreads while games are being played. And when that's over, you can go to the online casino. Get you some blackjack or poker. Don't play blackjack like I do. I split tens. I just don't do what I do. Go to the website today, get in on that action. Use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome, or no, 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet Online. The game starts here. Hello to Daniel. Hello to everyone. All right, so here's what I got. Here's what I got. I think I have a business call at some point, but I forgot what time, so I'm not worried about it. Thank you, Daniel. You're a beast. We always appreciate our super chats. We like it. Pool fund. All right, here's what we got. You guys want to do offense or defense first? I guess we can do offense because Joseph is in the chat and he said the running back group is the most likely to overachieve. That would be the easiest one to do because if you saw the video yesterday with Brian Broaddus, we mentioned these rankings. This is Pro Football Focus. And I've just pulled the Cowboys rankings at every position group. And running back would be the easiest to overachieve. Because guess where they rank? Number 32. Do you know how many teams are in the NFL? 32. Kevin Gray's in the chat. Kevin, you want to jump on with me? I'll send you a link. You can just hop in. We can talk. You just let me know. Text me your email if that's what you want to do. So they have the very worst running backs in the league. Yeah, that would be the easiest one to overachieve. Just be better than somebody at running back. And here's the thing about running back is people just say how good running backs are based on their yards per carry and stuff. So if you run block better, you could overachieve 32nd. If you average 4.5 a pop, you could do that. But here's the ranks. Running backs, 32nd. That's Rico Dowdle. That's Zeke Elliott. That's Deuce Vaughn. Wild card there. What if they play Deuce Vaughn and he's got something? It might be better than 32nd. What if Rico Dowdle is better than a lot of people think? Maybe you got. What if Zeke is better than Jeff thinks? Maybe you got something there. But I don't know. I don't know what team I would look at and check their depth chart and say, oh, we got better running backs than they do. I don't know that team exists. So we'll just hold on running back for a second. 32nd best running back group in the league. Hell yeah, kicking ass. What if your leading rusher is in another training camp next week? Who? That's the thing. Zeke throws that whole idea off, doesn't he? Because if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. That's a saying, right? Let's say there's a guy that is somebody's third, fourth, fifth running back that gets cut. All right, that guy gets cut. The Cowboys are like, bam, we're in. We're going to take this guy. Woohoo, because we think maybe he's better than one of our guys. Now, who do the Cowboys get rid of? Rico? Deuce? I guess they could. But I think the Cowboys' second or third best running back is Zeke, and there's no way that they'll cut Zeke. They just won't. There's no way. So to me, that throws off the idea that they're going to find their starting running back somewhere else. That's just my thought. You could cut Deuce for sure. And I guess you could bench or cut Rico too. But he doesn't deserve it. I don't know. If you could find a dude, I'll take a dude. So running backs are ranked 32nd. Wide receivers are ranked 15th. What does that mean? Well, that means that CeeDee Lamb's really good because you're just in the top half of the league, ranking the entire wide receiver group with one dude. And I don't mean to be mean to Brandon Cooks. Like, Brandon Cooks is fine. I think he's a functional number 2. That's fine. Your third is completely unknown. You guys can tell me in the comments who you think it's going to be or who you hope it's going to be. I would just bet on chalk. Excuse me. I would just bet on chalk and say Jalen Tolbert because he's been here the longest and they've invested in him a little bit. If it's Ryan Flournoy, cool. If Kevontae Turpin gets some run, cool. 15th, could the Cowboys overachieve being a middle-of-the-pack wide receiver core? I suppose they could if Brandon Cooks in his second year here becomes a 900-yard, 1,000-yard sort of receiver. And that's not impossible. So the wide receivers could overachieve. You could surprise people at wide receiver. Offensive line, Pro Football Focus says they have the 10th best offensive line in the NFL. That one I don't think you can overachieve. I think that would be tough. First-year center, first-year left tackle, need Terrence Steele to get back to who he was as opposed to who he just was. You have a nice starting point with 2 badass guards. You might have the best guard tandem in the NFL, so that's a really good starting point. But I have a hard time thinking that Tyler Guyton as a rookie left tackle is going to be a good left tackle. Well, let's see who the center is. I don't know why I have so many doubts about Brock Hoffman and so much belief in Cooper Beebe. Well, I do because I watch him play. Overachieving 10th would be tough with a first-year center, first-year left tackle, and with what the right tackle has been lately. Not impossible. Let's say Terrence Steele is back into form. Cooper Beebe's as good as I think he might be, and now at the center spot, you've actually got more power, a little more attitude. You have a functional or better right tackle because Terrence Steele is back and healthy. Cooper Beebe is in there dirting people. And the left tackle is kind of up and down. It could be better than top 10. It could be. Quarterback. Here's the fun one. Ready? Pro Football Focus says the quarterback is the 6th best in the NFL. Is he going to overachieve that? If he does, not by much. Is he going to underachieve that? If he does, not by much. I know a lot of you think he should be 32nd or whatever. Quarterback is quite good. That's exactly where he'll be. He will be somewhere between the 4th and 8th best quarterback in football. This we know. Unless the offensive line sucks, they can't run the ball, and nobody other than CD is getting open, then you could have some quarterback struggles. But that makes sense. I will say most likely to overachieve. It's kind of cheating. Now, running back is cheating because they're 32nd. Plus, they probably do have the 32nd running back room, so I'm not going to go with that. I'll go wide receiver. I'll say there's a chance that Brandon Cooks, second year in this offense, still has enough in the tank that he can be an 800 to 1,000-yard guy. I'm going to say the wide receiver is the most likely to achieve on offense. Defense. Cowboy rankings. Defensive line 6th. They could be worse than this. Just a little heads up. What if you get pretty much nothing from D tackle outside of Osa? Or what if, well, we're not going to talk about potential injuries, but what if your only capable defensive tackle gets banged up? Obviously at the end of the day, which button is this?
Oh, you gotta give him that hot poo and spit on that thing.
That's not the one I meant. I wanted that one.
Why not just start the day picking it up?
What was I talking about? I haven't taken my medicine yet. Defense line, obviously you'll be really good. Tank will be really good. Although the day does come for everybody where you start to look old, and it hadn't happened to him yet, but he is NFL old. Tank and Parsons are going to be great. I like Marshawn Nealand. I think that he'll fit really well with what Mike Zimmer wants, playing good run defense on the outside. And then if you want him to, there's an alarm. And then if you want him to pop inside for some pass rush stuff, you can do that. Oh, hold on. KG just sent me his email address. Just invite Kevin Gray. Let's see. Invite. Copy the link. Go to Gmail. Compose an email. This email. There it is. Link. Send. How's that for impromptu fun? So anyway, yeah. Trevor says, still feel like Zimmer brings in someone like Linval Joseph before the season starts, and that interior is at least average. That's what you need. You need that interior to be at least average, or you need to be just more consistently stout on the outside guys, which takes some of the pressure off of the inside guys. You need to play better at linebacker, and you can take some of the pressure off those guys, but it's supposed to work the other way, where the bigs are big, and they take the pressure off of other people. That's the way it's supposed to go. So you need Mozzie Smith to take a step, which is tough because he's spending the offseason recuperating from surgery. But maybe I could spin that the other way and say that the reason that Mozzie Smith struggled is because his shoulder was hurt. How about that? Can I sell you on that? I don't know. Maybe. So the defensive line group being ranked as the 6th best in the NFL, it makes sense because you have one of the best pass rushers in football. You have one of the best all-around defensive ends in football still in Tank Lawrence. But then you got to see what is the depth going to look like. Sam Williams with a bigger role, Marshawn Nealand. You might have a really good group of edge guys. You might have a really bad group of interior guys. Linebacker rank, 19th. According to Pro Football Focus, you have the 19th best group of linebackers. And this is the one for the Cowboys that I think has the most room for, could swing either way, hard. And it's good that this random guy I know named Kevin, he actually mentioned linebacker in the chat. I'm going to send him a link. Hey, KG.
Good morning, Jeff.
I was just trying to fill some time before I go to Austin today, and I was like, hey, why not broadcast?
Oh, you should say hello to my uncle for me who lives in Austin. You should do that for me.
I'll go to his house.
Yeah, I'll let him know you're coming.
Does he have a pool?
I don't think so. Actually, you probably don't want to go visit him. He actually just had back surgery a couple weeks ago. He's probably trying to rest. So actually, you probably should just leave him alone. Now that I mentioned,
I'll take him some painkillers. I can do that.
You could probably use some of those right about now.
Everyone, please welcome in Kevin Gray from 97.1 The Freak. That's Mavericks pre and post game, but he's not just a Mavericks man. He is a man about town.
Who's counting?
He's a sport. What's that?
Or the Eagle now, but who's counting?
97.1 The Eagle. You're home with the Dallas Mavericks and rock. Anyway, also, what's your YouTube channel?
Ooh, at Kevin Gray Sports, as I'm like looking terrible as I wake up out of the bed this morning.
Look at me. Cares? Oh, it's stupid. I had a rhino horn right here. This thing.
Oh, yo.
Yeah.
Damn.
I popped it though. Anyway,
my widow's peak's growing in gray these days, so there's that. If you can see that, that's that.
That just means we're getting smart. Once your hair starts turning color, it means you're getting wise.
That's not what my wife told me last night, but that's neither here nor there. But
I don't want to hear about you and your wife. Actually, I do want to hear about you and your wife last night.
They don't, but I'm sure you would.
Yes, they do. KG, you mentioned linebacker, talking about the Cowboys group that might overachieve. Pro Football Focus says they're the 19th best group in the league. I think they're the biggest wild card on this roster, and I'm quite intrigued going into training camp to watch all of these dudes. Hell, I'm even intrigued with where they line up.
Same. Like, we know that Mike Zimmer is going to be this kind of more disciplinarian type, and I'm interested to see how these players react to some of that after their favorite uncle dad left to go coach in Washington with the Commanders. So Damone Clark, Demarion Overshown, I'm amazed at the amount I don't think we talk about this enough, the amount of guys that are coming back off of injury that they have to depend on, whether it be Trayvon Diggs in the secondary, coming off an ACL, Demarion Overshown, with the torn ACL coming back. I know he's a little bit younger, so he maybe had a little bit more bounce back game to him. But yeah, the linebacker core to me is the wild card, like you mentioned, because Leighton Vander Esch is gone now. How does Damone Clark and Overshown really kind of step up? Eric Kendricks, the veteran of the group, to kind of help them learn how Mike Zimmer kind of gets down day to day. So we know how bad the run was defensively last year for the Cowboys. I want to see how this linebacker group performs in training camp, because I think that'll give us a really good indication of how maybe good this defense can be this upcoming season.
I like that you mentioned Damone Clark because I feel like he's the most not mentioned guy.
Yeah.
That was like the linebacker on the team last year. Like, he was
Mhm.
the one that you had. And don't get me wrong, I don't think that he is. It's weird. I don't like. You don't want to call people like bad or whatever, right? Like I don't think that Damone Clark is a above average starting NFL linebacker. I don't know that he's an average NFL starting linebacker. We know that Kendricks is going to play for Mike Zimmer.
Mhm.
He'll be in the middle. And then what? And I feel like Damone Clark, for most people, myself included, doesn't get mentioned all that much because I'm like, I don't know, maybe you just get bored of it. And it's like, no, Overshone. And they spent a 3rd round pick on Leafau. And so
Mhm.
I'm kind of interested in just where they line up. Who's going to be expected to do what? And like what linebacker is going to play the second most snaps? What
Yeah.
linebacker is going to play the third most snaps? Because they talk about wanting to play 3 linebackers, and that's fine until the other team has 4 wide receivers. Then good luck. And so I want to know, like, who are the 2? It's
Yeah.
Kendricks and
That's the thing. Who's going to take the reins of the job, right? Because this time last year, before Overshone tore his ACL, we were looking at him like, oh, hey, that shiny toy over there, he looks real athletic and fast and quick. He could help out in this run defense and this defense. And of course, obviously, he got injured. So how does he bounce back? But yeah, outside of Kendricks, there really isn't, I guess, a solidified person who you think, oh yeah, he's going to be the guy alongside Kendricks to be able to really help, the linebacker core there. So how these guys take the reins, I think, is going to be a huge part of what the middle of this defense looks like this upcoming season for sure.
If the linebacker group is going to be the one that overachieves on this defense compared to what people think, or in this case, what Pro Football Focus thinks, doesn't it mean that somebody beat out Damone Clark? Doesn't it mean that it's Eric Kendricks and either Overshone or Leafau? Or
not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure if you're the Cowboys, you're hoping that Clark is the guy alongside Overshone that is able to, be able to be that guy. Because look, we were hoping that Clark was going to be that guy when even Leighton Vander Esch was on the tail end of his career, thinking, okay, maybe he can come in and be able to be the next one but it just hasn't, panned out in that way. Like we've seen flashes of Clark, play well, but there hasn't been the consistency that we thought maybe we could get from him. But at least I could be wrong. What do you think? Do you think that the Cowboys want Clark to be that guy alongside Overshone and Kendricks? Do they think that their, draft pick could be able to be the guy?
My feeling is that your ceiling is the lowest with Damone Clark, just based on what I've seen from him. Like, I think, and maybe that's just because we fall in love with the unknown, especially when the unknown is young.
Yeah.
Like what we saw from Overshone, you just try to extrapolate it. Like, dude, that dude flies all over the place and crushes people.
Yes.
And then Leafau, it's like, holy crap, his coverage grade is 100. And so you view those as having more potential. And I almost have reached the point with Damone Clark where I'm like, yeah, I've seen him play and he's okay. And so I feel like my ceiling goes up if you plug an unknown in. And so I want those unknowns when I
the
get
level of overachievement gets higher with a guy that's an unknown for sure.
Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to overachieve some of these things because if I average out all of these rankings, the Cowboys are going to average out to having about the 15th or 16th best offense and about the 15th best defense. And that's not good.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Shout out to Dak, CD, and Micah. And y'all think some of them suck and want to trade them. But you have about the 15th best team in football, and they're going to win 11 or 12.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Because I don't know if this goes with what your theme is for today, but it may. What's the idea? And this may be a whole separate conversation for another video for yourself at some point down the road. But what's the identity of this Cowboys team going into this upcoming year? Kind of in the context of, who can overachieve, who may what's the identity of this team?
Dak, CD, and Micah.
That's just those
CD,
three.
Micah. Because I think without Dan Quinn, it's no longer the like super hyper aggressive. We're going to try to intercept every pass.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, that was a part of your identity. A part of your identity was Diggs when he's healthy or Bland. Like we're jumping routes, we're making big plays, we're giving up plays.
Yeah.
We are irresponsibly rushing the quarterback and making plays. Like we're going to make big plays on defense, and we're going to throw the ball to CD. Which once they figured out their identity was we're throwing the ball to CD last year. Well, they got cooking.
Yeah.
They got cooking. So the identity is 4, 88, 11.
Got it.
Like, and not everybody, I don't feel like that's as much a thing anymore. Most teams' identity now is their quarterback. My identity is I got that dude. And like the Steelers' identity is now they think they have a quarterback or two. Our quarterback sucks. Hopefully, TJ Watt sacks everyone. Like that was their identity.
Well, I guess
Chiefs'
something about
identity is Pat Mahomes.
Well, yeah, I guess something about like the best teams, like San Francisco. You know what they're a physical football team on both sides of the ball. Philadelphia prides themselves on being physical on both sides of the football. Kansas City, you mentioned, they got the best player in the sport. That's their identity. I'm trying to think of some of the other teams that you would think of that has like truly defined like this is who we are, this is what we're going to be, and we dare you to stop it. I don't know outside of what you mentioned with Dak, CD, and Micah, like what's the one thing that you fear with the Cowboys this upcoming year? Is there something that's like, oh, we got to take that away from the Cowboys, whether it be offensively or defensively? Obviously, Micah would be the on defense, I guess, but.
Yeah, if I were playing the Cowboys, I would triple team Micah Parsons and I would triple team CeeDee Lamb, and I'd be like, "What else you got? Show me what else you got. You gonna hand this ball to Zeke and Rico all day? Give it a shot. You gonna tear me up with Ryan Flournoy? Give it a shot." I would triple team all the good players. And I need to round this thing out. They have the Cowboys secondary ranked 13th, which again, I think that one could go either way based on literally one person.
Yeah, Trayvon.
We've seen too many guys lately for the Cowboys come off an ACL and not be themselves. If Trayvon Diggs is himself in week 1, I promise you they're better than the 13th secondary.
Agreed.
If Trayvon Diggs is not himself, it could be worse than that. But if he's himself, you got to look around at other people's secondaries. Diggs, Bland, Lewis is probably a top 5 group of corners. Starting corners.
Yeah.
It's a good group. And Malik Hooker's a good player. And I actually think they have good competition of dudes that can play for the other safety spot. Wilson, Wanye Thomas was good when he played. Marquise Bell playing safety. We don't know for sure, but he showed me he can play.
I think Thomas has a chance to have a breakout year this year. Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's the group overachieve, unless Diggs is out there dragging his leg. If Diggs is out there dragging his leg, that's a problem.
Which is why I was surprised that they didn't, get the insurance policy and bring back Stephon Gilmore like on a 1-year deal and have him back for one more year, just in case like you didn't have the consistency of production that you may have needed in your secondary, especially with Trayvon coming off the ACL. I thought a 1-year deal with Stephon Gilmore would have made a lot of sense for that group to be able to have some insurance there at that position, but they decided not to.
I think they just love pretending that no one will ever get hurt. It's one of their favorite things because right now it lines up for them, right? They're like, look, we want Bland playing outside and Diggs is back. We don't need Gilmore. It's like, okay, but what if Diggs isn't ready? And what about when somebody gets hurt? And what about if it's like, well, if we brought back Gilmore, what are we going to do? We're going to move Bland to the slot. Now we got to bench Jordan Lewis. Oh my gosh, we can't do that. Sure you can.
Sure you can.
They should have brought back Gilmore and they should have brought back Tyron. But I also think they feared Gilmore a little bit, like end of the year, watching the 30-something-year-old, like, oh, he really don't run too fast anymore. He ran fast enough to save your ass against Seattle, though.
Correct. He sure did.
Bland was going to get hit up for 608 TDs.
Woo!
Like Steph, can you handle a big adult guy?
That's like, crazy. Right. They told Stephon, hey, get out there on that Hulk-like dude in DK and see what you could do with him. He's like, all right, cool, I got it.
Yeah, whatever. I've been doing this a long time. I don't care who you want me to cover. That's fine. What if that becomes a thing that Deron Bland just can't cover large humans? That would suck.
Ooh, yeah, because there's a lot of them. There's
we
a
get
lot
them taller
of them.
cleats. Do you think anybody will ever do that? Have cleats that are like the soles, like or like
raised cleats,
like Air Force Ones, where your sole is like an inch tall and the shoes weigh? No, because that makes them too heavy. We can figure it out.
That'd be a dope football shoe, though. That'd be a dope football shoe, an Air Force One out there.
I'm going to put your YouTube channel in the comments so people can follow if they're not already. It's youtube.com/ is it at or no at?
Just tell them Kevin Gray Sports. Or I'll just tell you Kevin Gray Sports. Just search it on at Kevin Gray Sports. Yeah, something like that.
Let's just see what happens. I'm just going to type in Kevin Gray Sports and see what happens. If that doesn't work, put an at before Kevin and
yeah.
All right. I think I have a business phone call coming in a minute, so we have to leave, Kevin.
Okay.
But
bye.
I'm glad you're in the chat, and I'm glad that you hopped in. It's good to see you.
For sure. I love you, Jeff. Good to see you.
Follow Kevin on YouTube and listen to him on 97.1 The Eagle. Hold on. I haven't done my hot dog thing today. I need to.
Oh,
Which
no.
one is it? This one?
No, this is a hot dog bun. I think it's a hot dog too.
Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through. Be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy.